Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a season in life where silence becomes your greatest strategy. Not because you're hiding, not because you're unsure, but because growth needs space. Transformation needs privacy. Breakthrough needs room to breathe. You don't announce the seed, you plant it. You don't advertise the battle, you fight it. And you don't broadcast the journey, you walk it with discipline, intention, and conviction. Some of the loudest victories start in the quietest rooms. The world might not see the nights you stayed up, the tears you wiped away, the fears you confronted, or the doubts you buried. But heaven saw it. Purpose saw it. Destiny saw it. And destiny has taken notes. Move quietly. Because noise attracts distractions. Attention invites opinions. But silence builds strength. Silence builds character. Silence teaches you to depend on your assignment, not on applause. When you move in silence, care enough, you protect the dream from people who speak doubt before they even understand it. You protect the vision from those who can't see what God placed in your spirit. You protect yourself from battles that were never meant to be fought in public. The reason you feel disconnected from old circles is because you're being pulled into a new season. A quiet season, a focused season, a season where you don't need validation, you need commitment, a season where discipline becomes the voice and consistency becomes the proof. You don't have to explain your moves. You don't have to justify your decisions. You don't have to announce your plans. Because the same God who whispered the promise will be the God who reveals the results. Let your work speak. Let your growth speak. Let your discipline speak. Let the transformation speak. Success has a sound, and it echoes louder than any announcement you could ever make. Success makes noise in places your voice could never reach. Success speaks for you in rooms you haven't walked into yet. Success carries your name farther than your explanations ever could. So keep moving, keep building, keep rising. Because anyone is watching, but because you know what you were created to do. Don't worry about who doubts you. Don't worry about who left you. Don't worry about who doesn't understand your silence. Your silence is not weakness. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is focus. When the time comes, the world will hear the sound of your breakthrough, and they will wonder how you did it. They will wonder when it happened. They will wonder why they didn't see it coming. Silence is a strategy, a deliberate choice, a powerful discipline that only the mature understand. There is a point in life where you stop feeling the need to announce every step, defend every decision, or justify every move you make. You reach a level of growth where you understand that not everything deserves a reaction, and not everyone deserves a front row seat to your process. Silence becomes more than the absence of noise. It becomes the environment where real transformation happens. It becomes the sacred space where purpose takes shape, where ideas grow roots, where strength is built far away from the eyes and opinions of people who may never understand the depth of your journey. Silence is not weakness. It is not retreat. It is not passivity. It is the decision to protect your vision while it is still vulnerable, to guard your growth while it is still fragile, to nurture your potential without the weight of unnecessary commentary. Some people talk because they want validation. Some people talk because they need approval. But when you enter a mature season, you learn to talk less and work more. You learn to speak through actions, not announcements. You learn to let the results become the microphone that amplifies your commitment. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of intention. There are breakthroughs that only happen in quiet rooms. There are ideas that only come to life when the world stops shouting at you. There are dreams that require privacy before they can ever be displayed publicly. When you move in silence, you give yourself the space to think clearly, to plan wisely, and to build steadily. You avoid distractions that are designed to knock you off course. You refuse to let the noise of others drown out the sound of your own calling. Silence gives you back the authority of your own voice, your own mind, your own spirit. In silence, you remember who you are without the pressure to perform for anyone. Silence is a strategy because not every battle needs to be fought publicly. Every challenge needs to be explained. Not every emotion needs to be shared. Some of the greatest victories are born from moments when you kept your heart steady, your mouth closed, and your eyes focused on the goal ahead. People assume silence means nothing is happening, but the truth is the opposite. Silence is often where the most important work happens. The seed grows underground before the flower ever blooms. Muscles grow in rest before they show strength in action. Purpose grows in silence before it manifests in success. When you choose silence, you remove yourself from the chaos of comparison. You stop measuring your pace against others. You stop feeling pressured to prove something. Silence frees you from the expectations of the world and allows you to move according to your assignment, not according to applause. Teaches you that you don't need permission to elevate. You don't need to broadcast every step to feel significant. The journey becomes yours again. Progress becomes personal. No eyes watching, no voices distracting, no critics pulling you off the track. Just you, your mission. Quiet determination that fuels you. Silence is a strategy because there are people waiting to misunderstand you. There are people waiting to talk you out of your dream. There are people waiting to dilute your passion with their limitations. If you speak too soon, you give them access to places they were never meant to enter. If you share too early, you open the door to doubt that was never yours to carry. Silence protects you from the wrong influences. It shields you from the energy that drains instead of strengthens. It teaches you to trust your own direction. When you move quietly, you move wisely. There is a weight that lifts off your shoulders when you stop trying to prove yourself to anyone. Silence makes you realize that the people who truly matter will see the work when it's time. People who don't matter never needed to know anything to begin with. Silence gives you control over your narrative. It allows you to decide what is sacred and what is shareable. It keeps the focus on your growth instead of on opinions. You stop explaining, you stop defending, you stop justifying, because you understand that destiny does not need an audience to begin. In silence, you hear your intuition more clearly. You recognize the whispers of purpose that get buried when you're surrounded by too many voices. Silence makes space for clarity. It helps you see where you're going and why. It helps you separate emotion from instruction. It helps you listen to the lessons that life is trying to teach you. Most people are so surrounded by noise that they never truly hear themselves. When you embrace silence, you reconnect with the core of who you are. You become aligned with your assignment. You become grounded in your identity. Silence is a strategy because it teaches patience. It teaches you that every move does not need to be rushed. Every opportunity does not need to be taken. Every door that opens is not meant for you. Silence slows you down just enough to make decisions that match your destiny. It gives you time to pause before you speak, to reflect before you act, to breathe before you react. In silence, you stop living impulsively and start living intentionally. You understand that what you build quietly becomes harder for the world to tear down. Eventually, the silence pays off. The work you did behind the scenes begins to show. The sacrifices start producing fruit. The discipline begins to shine. People who doubted you begin to notice the shift. People who overlooked you begin to recognize the strength you've developed. The same silence that once hid you is the very thing that amplifies your success, because success has a sound. It is undeniable. It is unexplainable. It is impossible to hide. And when it speaks, it echoes louder than any announcement you could have ever made. Silence was the strategy. Success becomes the voice. And when that voice rises, everyone will understand why you moved the way you did, why you protected your vision, and why you chose quiet over applause. Because the results will speak louder than anything you could have said. Transformation begins in unseen places. It begins in the corners of your mind where no one else dares to enter, in the silent moments when the world believes you are idle, darkness where your strength is tested and your faith is refined. Most people look at the results and see only the shine, the growth, the breakthrough, but they forget the soil, the preparation, the hidden labor that made it possible. They forget the nights when tears were shed in private, the mornings when you rose weary but unwilling to give up, the hours when doubt whispered and fear tried to pull you back. Transformation is not born in the spotlight. It is not built on applause. It is crafted quietly in places unseen, where character is forged and destiny takes root. These unseen places are where your heart learns resilience. When no one is watching, there is no audience to validate your struggle. That is when your true character is revealed. You cannot manufacture strength under the glare of recognition. You cannot develop patience in the midst of praise. You cannot cultivate endurance when every hand is extended to lift you. It is in the unseen places, in the lonely streets you walk when no one follows, in the silent prayers you whisper when the world is asleep, private battles you fight that nobody else notices, that the transformation begins. That is where your spirit is stretched, your courage tested. Faith strengthened. Transformation begins in unseen places because life is not concerned with appearances. The world rewards what is visible, what is loud, what is celebrated, but the divine rewards what is genuine, what is steadfast, what is hidden until it is ready to be revealed. True transformation cannot be hurried, cannot be broadcast, and cannot be performed. It is a sacred process. It requires patience. It requires discipline. It demands that you embrace the silence, embrace the struggle, embrace the solitude. The unseen moments, the unseen hours, unseen sacrifices. These are the places where your potential is refined into power. They are the workshops of destiny, where your raw dreams are shaped into realities that cannot be denied. Most people fear unseen places because they are uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Facing your own limitations, confronting your own fears, wrestling with your own weaknesses. These are not things that happen on stages. These are not things that happen with applause. Transformation begins when you are willing to be alone with yourself, when you are willing to look in the mirror and face the truth of who you are enough, when you are willing to wrestle with the things inside you that no one else sees. These unseen places are not glamorous. They are not recognized. They are necessary. Without them, success is hollow, progress is shallow, and victory is temporary. True transformation always begins where the world cannot see, where your faith has to be bigger than your circumstances, where your vision has to be stronger than the voices around you. Transformation begins in unseen places because that is where you learn to trust yourself. When no one else is paying attention, you discover the power of self-reliance. You discover that you are capable of more than you thought. You discover that your dreams are not dependent on validation, approval, or applause. The unseen places teach you to be consistent even when consistency goes unnoticed. They teach you to be faithful even when faith feels unrecognized. They teach you to work even when results seem distant. These hidden seasons develop a resilience that no amount of recognition could ever instill. They cultivate a confidence that is unshakable because it is not built on the opinions of others. It is built on the work you have done in secret, in solitude, silence. Transformation begins in unseen places because these are the places where your spirit is purified. Adversity, struggle, challenge are often hidden. They are rarely public, and yet they are essential. Pain is a teacher, and it teaches in private. Trials are workshops, and they operate quietly. The moments when you are tested and tempted and pushed to your limits, these are the places where you learn humility, patience, perseverance. You learn that growth is not always visible. You learn that progress is not always measurable by what others can see. You learn that the most important victories are often won before anyone ever witnesses them. And when the time comes for your breakthrough, it will be undeniable because it has been forged in fire, in silence, in the unseen places where no shortcuts exist. Transformation begins in unseen places because that is where dreams are protected. Not every dream is ready for public view. Every vision is ready for exposure. The world has a way of discouraging the unprepared, of mocking the immature, stealing the confidence of those who are not yet ready to shine. In unseen places, you can cultivate your purpose without distraction, without criticism, without interference. You can experiment, fail, adjust, and grow without fear of judgment. You can build your life in private, laying the foundation strong enough to withstand scrutiny when the time comes. Unseen places are where your dreams are allowed to mature, hurried and uncompromised, until they are ready to burst forth with unstoppable force. Transformation begins in unseen places because this is where your faith is refined. When no one else is watching, you are forced to rely on something greater than yourself. You are forced to believe when there is no evidence, to hope when circumstances seem hopeless, to keep moving when the world cannot see your effort. Unseen places cultivate a faith that is pure and unshakable, a faith that does not depend on recognition, applause, or approval. And it is this faith that will carry you when the world finally sees what you have been building. It is this faith that ensures your transformation is permanent, not temporary. It is this faith that transforms struggle into strength, doubt into determination, pain into power. Transformation begins in unseen places because these are the laboratories of greatness. Every successful person, every visionary, every leader, every hero you admire has spent seasons in unseen places. They have labored in silence, struggled in darkness, and persevered without witnesses. Their victories are loud, but the work that produced those victories was quiet. It was private, it was unseen, and that is why it was effective. That is why it was sustainable. That is why it endured. Transformation does not announce itself in advance. It grows quietly, steadily, and patiently until it is ready to appear in its full glory. So embrace the unseen places. Do not fear them. Do not rush through them. Do not compare them to the noisy seasons of others. These places are sacred. These places are powerful. These places are where your soul is strengthened, your mind is sharpened, and your destiny is prepared. Do the work even when no one is watching. Trust the process even when the world cannot see. Believe in yourself even when doubt surrounds you. And one day, what was once unseen will be undeniable. What was once private will become public. What was once hidden will shine so brightly that no one will be able to ignore it. Transformation always begins in unseen places, and that is where greatness is born. Moving quietly protects your vision, protects the dreams that live deep inside you, the purpose that burns in your spirit, and the destiny that is waiting for you to step into it fully. The world has a way of trying to steal what you were born to do. It has a way of tempting you to speak too soon, to reveal too much, to allow others to influence your path before it is fully formed. And if you are not careful, that same world will cloud your judgment, shake your confidence, divert your steps. That is why moving quietly is not just a strategy, it is a safeguard. It is the shield that protects the fragile beginnings of greatness, the unseen labor that precedes the visible breakthrough. When you move quietly, you preserve your energy, your focus, and your clarity. Because noise and distraction are enemies to progress. The world loves to talk, to judge, to offer opinions about things it barely understands. People are quick to speak about what they have never experienced, to criticize what they cannot comprehend, and to challenge what they cannot see. When you reveal your plans too early, you allow their doubt to enter your mind and their fear to seep into your spirit. Moving quietly keeps your vision safe from the hands and mouths of those who are not invested in your success. It keeps you free to act without hesitation, free to build without interruption, and free to grow without the weight of unnecessary pressure. Quiet movement allows you to focus on your mission, not the distractions. It allows you to concentrate on your craft, not the criticisms. It allows you to keep your eyes on the prize, even when the world around you is noisy and chaotic. Moving quietly protects your vision because it preserves your peace. There is a powerful energy in being undisturbed, in moving forward without the constant need to justify your choices, explain your actions, defend your decisions. People will always have opinions about what you should or shouldn't do. They will try to pull you into debates that have nothing to do with your path. They will demand explanations for choices that were never theirs to question. When you move quietly, you remove yourself from those unnecessary confrontations. You safeguard the sacredness of your journey. You honor the work you are doing and the progress you are making by allowing it to grow without interference. Peace is the soil where vision flourishes. Silence is the water that nourishes it. Moving quietly protects your vision because it allows you to cultivate strength before exposure. The world only sees the result, but it never sees the labor that created it. It never sees the moments when you pushed through exhaustion, ignored fear, and chose to keep going when quitting seemed easier. These unseen hours, these hidden sacrifices are what build the power to sustain success. If you reveal your process too soon, you expose your vulnerabilities to those who may not have your best interest at heart. Moving quietly allows you to grow strong enough to handle the applause, criticism, and scrutiny that inevitably come when success finally arrives. It is a way of building armor around your dreams so that when they manifest, they are unshakable and undeniable. Moving quietly also protects your vision from comparison. In today's world, it is easy to measure your progress against others, to feel inadequate when someone else's success is publicized, or to doubt your own journey when it seems slower than theirs. Moving quietly reminds you that your path is unique, your timing is divine, and your purpose is personal. You do not need to rush to announce every step or to showcase every effort. You do not need to broadcast your climb to prove that you are moving forward. Your vision is yours, and its preservation depends on your ability to protect it from distractions, pressures, and the fear of not measuring up. Quiet movement allows you to honor your own pace, to respect your own process, and to focus on the work that matters rather than the noise that does not. Moving quietly protects your vision because it preserves your focus. The more you announce your plans, the more attention you attract. Not all attention is beneficial. Some attention brings encouragement, but much of it brings doubt, distraction, and sabotage. When you move quietly, you create a space where you can act without interference, make decisions without pressure, and pursue your dreams without compromise. Focus is a rare and powerful resource. It is constantly under attack from external voices. Moving quietly allows you to guard it. It allows you to act strategically, to plan wisely, and to execute deliberately. Your vision deserves undisturbed attention, and quiet movement provides it. Moving quietly protects your vision because it teaches patience. Growth, progress, and breakthroughs do not happen overnight. They cannot be rushed, cannot be forced. The unseen work, the hidden sacrifices, the silent persistence, these are the things that prepare you for the moment when your vision finally manifests. If you announce your plans too early or seek validation too soon, you risk losing patience and making mistakes that could compromise your future. Moving quietly reminds you that the process matters, that preparation is powerful, and that timing is everything. Patience is a byproduct of moving in silence, and it ensures that when your vision is revealed, it is fully formed, unstoppable, and undeniable. Moving quietly protects your vision because it allows God, fate, or the universe, whatever you believe in, to work on your behalf without interference. There is power in alignment, in letting the unseen forces shape your path, and in trusting that the work you do in private will be multiplied and revealed at the right time. When you move quietly, you are not working for approval. You are working for fulfillment. You are not performing for recognition. You are building for destiny. There is an unseen hand guiding your progress, orchestrating the timing, and ensuring that your vision is protected until it is ready to shine. Finally, moving quietly protects your vision because it allows your success to speak for itself. When the work is done, when the preparation is complete, when the breakthrough arrives, it will be undeniable. People will see the results and hear the story of triumph without needing explanations or excuses. Quiet that protected your vision will become the source of awe and inspiration for others. Success that was nurtured in secrecy will command attention without a single word from you. By moving quietly, you preserve the integrity of your dream, strengthen your capacity for greatness, and ensure that when the time comes, your vision emerges powerful, clear, and unstoppable. So move quietly. Protect your vision. Guard your dreams. Do not announce every step, defend every choice, or explain every action. Let your focus, discipline, and persistence build in silence. Let your patience and faith sustain you when no one else sees the work you are doing. And when the time is right, your success will speak so loudly that the world cannot ignore it. The quiet was not absence, it was preparation. The silence was not inaction, it was strategy. Protection you gave your vision will make all the noise when it finally arrives. Silence builds discipline. It is in the quiet moments, no one is watching, when the applause is absent and the distractions are removed, that true discipline is forged. Discipline is not born out of noise, excitement, or constant affirmation. It is cultivated in stillness, in the spaces where you are forced to confront yourself, your choices, and your priorities. It is built in the silent hours when temptation whispers, when fatigue weighs heavy on your shoulders, and when the easier path seems so much more inviting. Discipline is not an accident. It is not the result of fleeting motivation or the thrill of recognition. It is the product of repeated decisions made in silence. Character is tested and your resolve is proven. In silence, you are forced to face yourself. There are no crowds to cheer you on. No voices to distract you, no external pressures to shape your choices. You are left alone with your thoughts, your desires, your weaknesses, and your potential. In that solitude, discipline is born when you resist the urge to quit, when you push yourself to keep going despite exhaustion, when you remain committed to your purpose. Even when no one else notices, you are exercising the muscle of discipline. Silence strips away the external crutches that so many rely on: validation, praise, accountability from others, and forces you to depend on something deeper: your commitment to yourself, your vision, and your future. Silence builds discipline because it cultivates focus. In a world that is constantly noisy, it is easy to become distracted. Social media, opinions, expectations, the endless chatter of those around you can pull your attention in 1,000 directions. But when you embrace silence, when you allow yourself to step away from the noise, you create space to concentrate on what truly matters. You learn to prioritize what will move you forward and to ignore what will hold you back. Discipline grows when focus is protected. Silence provides the fertile ground where focus can thrive. It is in these quiet moments that you decide what is worthy of your energy and what is not. And it is in these moments that the foundation for sustained success is laid. Silence builds discipline because it forces consistency. Discipline is not a one-time act. It is a habit, a lifestyle, a commitment to showing up every day regardless of circumstances. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration comes and goes. But discipline is what carries you forward when the excitement fades, when the initial thrill of starting a goal has passed, and when obstacles appear insurmountable. In silence, you discover the power of consistency. You learn that your progress is not measured by immediate recognition, but by the accumulation of small, intentional actions taken every day. Quietly doing the work day after day shapes your character, strengthens your resolve, and builds a foundation that can withstand the storms of life. Silence builds discipline because it teaches self-control. When you are alone with your thoughts and your impulses, when there is no external accountability, you are forced to govern yourself. You are forced to make decisions that align with your long-term goals rather than your immediate desires. You are forced to resist the temptation of shortcuts, instant gratification, and distractions that promise pleasure but deliver emptiness. Self-control is the essence of discipline, and it cannot be developed under the scrutiny of others or in the noise of external validation. It grows in silence, where your mind and heart must rely on their own strength to stay the course. Silence builds discipline because it reveals priorities. In the quiet, you are confronted with the truth of what matters most. You cannot hide from yourself, and you cannot pretend that everything is equal. You must make choices. Those choices reveal what you truly value. Discipline grows when you act in accordance with your priorities, when you say no to what does not serve your purpose, and when you dedicate yourself fully to what does. Silence strips away the illusions and forces clarity. It teaches you that every decision has a consequence, every action matters, and every moment is an opportunity to reinforce the habits that will shape your destiny. Silence builds discipline because it strengthens resilience. Life will test you in ways that are invisible to the world. Challenges will come when no one is looking. Setbacks will happen in private. Failure will knock on your door when the applause is gone. Discipline is what allows you to persevere. It is the internal fortitude that keeps you moving forward when the external support disappears. When you cultivate discipline in silence, You develop an inner strength that is unshakable. You learn to endure hardship, maintain focus under pressure, stay committed even when the odds are stacked against you. Silence teaches you that resilience is not loud. It is quiet, steadfast, and relentless. Silence builds discipline because it creates accountability to yourself. When no one else is monitoring your progress, no one else is holding you responsible. The only person who matters is you. Discipline is born when you answer to yourself, when you refuse to compromise your standards, and when you hold yourself to a higher level of expectation. In silence, you cannot blame circumstances, people, or distractions. You are forced to take full responsibility for your actions. And in that responsibility lies the power to transform your life. Discipline grows when you own your choices, embrace the consequences, and commit to continuous improvement. Silence builds discipline because it fosters patience. Discipline is not about rushing to the finish line. It is about enduring the process, committing to growth, and understanding that lasting success takes time. The quiet moments, you learn to wait without frustration, to act without impulsiveness, and to persevere without complaint. Silence teaches you that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable, that the seeds you plant in private require time to take root, that the work done in solitude will bear fruit when the timing is right. Patience is a core component of discipline, and silence is the classroom where patience is mastered. Silence builds discipline because it produces results that speak louder than words. When you cultivate your strength, focus, consistency, self-control, priorities, resilience, accountability, and patience in silence, outcomes eventually become undeniable. People will not see the effort, the struggles, sacrifices that went into your growth, but they will witness the results. And those results will be powerful, lasting, and unshakable. Discipline does not need an audience to validate it. It simply delivers. Silence allows you to work undisturbed, to grow without distraction, to achieve without interference. And when the results emerge, they will speak for themselves, louder than any announcement ever could. Silence builds discipline. It is the unseen labor that produces visible success. It is the quiet cultivation of character, commitment, and strength. It is the intentional removal of distractions, the focus on priorities, the mastery of self, and the unwavering pursuit of purpose. In silence, you discover what it truly means to persevere. In silence, you develop habits that endure. In silence, you prepare for the moment when your work, once hidden, will be revealed in all its power and glory. Discipline is born in silence, refined in solitude, and demonstrated in action. And so, embrace silence. Protect it, guard it, let it become the foundation upon which you build your character, your vision, and your life. Quiet moments are not wasted. They are shaping you into someone unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. And when the world finally witnesses your results, it will not matter that the process was hidden. Silence has done its work. Discipline has been forged. And the impact of your success will be undeniable. You don't owe announcements to anyone. This truth is more liberating than most people realize. Too often, we feel compelled to explain our actions, justify our decisions, or broadcast every step we take as though our value is tied to the recognition of others. But true life does not require approval. Greatness does not need permission. You do not have to post every milestone, share every idea, or provide commentary on every move you make. You do not need to justify your strategy, defend your journey, or convince anyone that you're on the right path. Your life is yours to live, purpose is yours to pursue, and your dreams are yours to protect. You are accountable to yourself and to the vision that burns within your spirit, not to the critics, doubters, onlookers who are watching without understanding. When you feel the pressure to announce everything, it often comes from fear. The fear of being overlooked, misunderstood, or undervalued. You think that if no one hears your plans, no one will respect your ambition. You think that if you do not explain yourself, people will misinterpret your intentions. But the truth is, your progress is not dependent on the approval of anyone else. Your worth is not measured by how loudly you proclaim your achievements. Your purpose is not validated by the comments, likes, or applause of the world. When you stop feeling the need to announce everything, you free yourself from distraction, from comparison, and from the endless cycle of external validation. You create space to focus on what truly matters, the work itself, the growth it produces, and the results that are waiting to be revealed in their own perfect time. You don't owe announce to anyone because those who truly matter will recognize your efforts when it is time. People who are invested in your success do not need constant updates. They do not need to be reminded of your dreams or your progress. They will see the results. Those results will speak for themselves. Meanwhile, the opinions of the uninvested, the distracted, and the judgmental should never dictate your steps. When you choose to move quietly, you preserve the sanctity of your vision and protect your energy from those who would drain it. You keep your focus sharp, your actions deliberate, and your path unobstructed. You allow your success to build without interference, and when the moment of revelation comes, the impact will be undeniable. You don't owe announcements to anyone because life is not a performance, it is a process. Too many people treat their journey as if it were a reality show, feeling the need to provide updates, justify decisions, or defend choices in real time. True success is cultivated in private. It grows in the quiet hours, in the unseen sacrifices, in the persistent effort that no one else observes. When you feel the urge to explain yourself, remind yourself that your process belongs to you. Your work is sacred. Your discipline, consistency, and commitment are what truly matter. And when the results arrive, they will not require embellishment or explanation. They will carry their own weight and make their own noise. You don't owe announcements to anyone because silence is a weapon of power. When you reveal too much too soon, you expose yourself to judgment, distraction, and unnecessary opposition. There are people who will attempt to steal your ideas, mock your ambitions, or sow seeds of doubt in your mind. There are those who will challenge you simply because they do not understand, cannot relate, or are fearful of your growth. Silence shields you from these forces. Silence allows you to act with precision, to plan with clarity, to advance without interference. Silence is not passivity, it is strategy. Moving without broadcasting, you protect the integrity of your vision and ensure that when success finally arrives, it is fully intact and undeniable. You don't owe announcements to anyone because the world often misunderstands timing. Progress rarely happens in the way people expect. Dreams do not follow calendars. Breakthroughs do not arrive on demand. If you constantly announce your plans or declare your intentions prematurely, you open yourself up to pressure, criticism, and impatience from others and from yourself. But when you hold your journey close, you act in silence and with discretion. You give your purpose time to mature, your skills time to develop, and your results time to become undeniable. Timing is crucial. Announcements can wait, but preparation cannot. By choosing quiet over explanation, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of growth, unseen processes that transform potential into power. You don't owe announcements to anyone because your life is not a story to be consumed by the masses. It is a mission to be fulfilled. Too many people live their lives on display, thinking that visibility equals credibility. But visibility without substance is hollow. Noise without purpose is empty. When you stop announcing everything, you are able to focus on what is truly meaningful, building your skills, strengthening your character, deepening your understanding, and fulfilling the vision that was placed within you. The work you do in private, done with intention and discipline, will always have more impact than words ever could. You don't owe announcements to anyone because true influence is revealed through results, not explanations. People will judge, question, and critique, but results are the only language that commands respect. When you deliver, when you produce, when you succeed, the world has no choice but to listen. Moving quietly, you allow your work to speak louder than your words ever could. You build credibility that is undeniable, respect that is earned, success that cannot be ignored. Announcements are unnecessary when results are inevitable. You don't owe announcements to anyone because peace and focus are more valuable than approval. The energy you expend trying to explain yourself or defend your choices could be better used building, creating, and advancing your purpose. Every unnecessary explanation dilutes your focus and distracts you from your mission. When you embrace the principle of quiet progress, you conserve your energy for the battles that truly matter, for the work that truly counts, and for the vision that only you can bring to life. Silence becomes a shield for your peace, and discipline becomes the engine of your progress. You don't owe announcements to anyone because life is a test of patience, faith, and maturity. Not everyone will understand your timing, your process, or your priorities. Not everyone is equipped to see what you see or to appreciate what you are building. But those who are meant to witness your journey will recognize it when the time is right. Until then, you are free to move deliberately, act intentionally, cultivate your success without interference. You are free to focus on the work, trust the process, and honor the vision that was entrusted to you. The noise of the world is irrelevant. What matters is your fidelity to your calling, your perseverance in the process, courage to keep moving quietly while the world waits for the results. You do not owe announcements to anyone. You do not owe explanations, justifications, or defenses. Your journey belongs to you, your vision belongs to you, and your success will belong to you. Move quietly, work diligently, trust the process. Let your results speak for themselves. Let your actions, your growth, and your achievements tell the story that words cannot. In the end, those who matter will celebrate your success, and those who do not will fade into the background. You are not obligated to anyone, but your purpose, your fidelity to it will ultimately make all the noise the world ever needs to hear. Success has its own sound. It is not measured by applause, by likes, by commentary, or by the validation of others. It is not dictated by who sees you, who praises you, or who recognizes you along the way. Success speaks in a language that cannot be faked, cannot be borrowed, and cannot be manufactured. It is the sound of a life transformed, of a purpose fulfilled, of a vision realized. It is the echo of consistent effort, disciplined action, and unwavering perseverance. It does not whisper, it resounds. It does so in its own time, in its own way, and with a power that no external force can diminish. You may move quietly, you may struggle unseen, you may labor in silence, but success will eventually speak, and when it does, the world cannot ignore it. The sound of success is unique because it carries the proof of your journey. People often see the results and assume they came easily. Success bears the imprint of every early morning, every late night, every moment of sacrifice, and every step taken when no one was watching. Its sound is composed of the rhythm of persistence, the cadence of consistency, and the harmony of discipline. Those who listen carefully can hear it in the quiet strength that radiates from you, in the confidence that can no longer be shaken, and in the calm assurance that comes from knowing you have done the work. Success has a sound because it carries within it the evidence of effort, endurance, excellence. Success has its own sound because it cannot be created by words alone. You may announce, you may promise, you may proclaim your intentions to the world, but until action is taken, until work is done, until results are produced, there is no sound. Success demands effort, and effort produces its own resonance. Every disciplined choice, every sacrifice, every instance of resisting temptation, every moment of courage and faith, these are the notes that form the symphony of achievement. It is a melody composed over time, and it cannot be hurried or fabricated. It cannot be stolen by shortcuts or imitation because its power is rooted in authenticity. The sound of success is undeniable because it is earned, not borrowed, and it is unmistakable because it reflects the life and labor of the one who produced it. Success has its own sound because it arrives with timing that cannot be forced. Life may seem silent, stagnant, or slow, but when the work is done in alignment with purpose, success announces itself in its own moment. You may move quietly, unseen and unheard, and the world may doubt your progress, but success will break through the silence. It does not follow schedules dictated by external pressures. It does not conform to the expectations of impatient onlookers. When success speaks, it does so with authority and power that commands attention, leaving no room for question or dispute. Its sound is the culmination of preparation, perseverance, and patience. It is the moment when the unseen labor becomes undeniable reality and when the results make noise louder than any words ever could. Success has its own sound because it transforms perception. Those who have doubted you, criticized you, overlooked your efforts will hear it and be forced to acknowledge it. Success does not need you to argue or convince. It does not rely on explanations. justifications, or defenses. Its sound carries weight because it is backed by evidence. It does not ask for permission. It commands recognition. It does not rely on popularity. It relies on results. People will question, people will comment, people will speculate, but success speaks louder than any rumor, louder than any opinion, and louder than any expectation. Its sound is persuasive because it is undeniable, authentic, and absolute. Success has its own sound because it inspires others. When it manifests, it carries with it a resonance that motivates, encourages, and awakens possibility in those who hear it. People are drawn to the energy of achievement because it demonstrates that dedication, patience, and faith produce tangible outcomes. The sound of success reminds the world that dreams are possible, that visions can be realized, and that labor in silence is never wasted. It is a signal to those who are still struggling that persistence pays, that focus matters, consistency produces results. Success becomes not only personal proof, but also a beacon for others, and its sound echoes far beyond the one who achieved it. Success has its own sound because it is the culmination of choice. Every step you took, every decision to persevere, every moment of saying yes to growth and no to distraction contributes to its resonance. It is not random. It is not accidental. It is intentional. The sound of success is the echo of discipline, strategy, and commitment. It carries the energy of vision protected, challenges overcome, obstacles conquered. And because it is built on intentionality, it cannot be replicated by luck, coincidence, or convenience. Its sound is unique to you, formed by your journey and shaped by the life you chose to live with purpose. Success has its own sound because it silences doubt. For every person who told you it could not be done, for every voice that said you would fail, for every skeptic who laughed at your vision, success answers without speaking a word. Its sound is louder than any argument. Its presence is proof enough. It does not engage in debate. It does not beg for understanding, and it does not seek approval. It simply manifests. Its resonance carries a message so powerful that no disbelief can withstand it. It is a proclamation not of arrogance, but of achievement. It is the echo of perseverance meeting purpose, of discipline overcoming distraction, and of faith converting vision into reality. Success has its own sound because it cannot be rushed or replicated. There is no formula, no shortcut, and no substitute for the work that produces it. It is cultivated over time, shaped by trials, and refined by experience. Every setback, every challenge, every struggle contributes to the richness of its sound. It is deep, resonant, and unshakable because it carries the history of growth, the evidence of endurance, and the weight of perseverance. Success is music, composed note by note, moment by moment, until the symphony reaches its crescendo and commands attention. Success has its own sound because it is timeless. It cannot be erased, denied, or diminished. Once it has manifested, its impact lingers, echoing in the lives of those who witness it. Its sound carries lessons for the future, proof of what is possible, and inspiration for generations. It does not rely on the fleeting opinions of the present. It is built to last, and its resonance continues long after the initial achievement is recognized. The sound of success is eternal because it is grounded in effort, integrity, and vision, not in temporary acclaim or transient applause. Success has its own sound. It does not need your announcements. It does not require explanation. It does not beg for attention. It will emerge in its own time, unmistakable and undeniable. It will reflect the labor of your hands, the discipline of your mind, and the faith of your spirit. It will echo louder than any criticism, surpass any doubt, and silence any skepticism. The sound of success is proof that quiet labor, patience, persistence, and purpose produce results. And when it finally arrives, you will hear it, feel it, and witness it, loud, clear, and impossible. Ignore. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions. They are not periods of weakness, idleness, or failure. They are intentional pauses, sacred moments, purposeful intervals where the noise of the world is turned down so that the voice of your destiny can be heard. In a world that constantly demands attention, where every notification, every opinion, and every expectation fights for a place in your mind, quiet seasons are the places of clarity. They are the spaces where you can think, plan, grow, and prepare without interference. They are the invisible laboratories of greatness, where character is refined, focus is sharpened, and vision is protected. Those who fail to embrace quiet seasons often fall prey to distraction, lose sight of their purpose, and wander through life reacting to the chaos around them rather than acting in alignment with their calling. Quiet seasons are essential because they allow you to recognize what truly matters. When the world is loud, when everyone is shouting for attention, and when every distraction clamors for your energy, it is easy to lose track of your priorities. You may chase after things that seem urgent but are not important, responding to pressures that have nothing to do with your purpose. Quiet seasons create space to reflect, to evaluate, and to discern. In silence, you can examine your life and identify the people, habits, activities that pull you away from your vision. You begin to separate the noise from the signal, the temporary from the eternal, trivial from the transformative. It is in these quiet seasons that your compass is recalibrated, your mission clarified, and your path aligned. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they cultivate focus. Distractions are everywhere. Social media opinions, expectations, comparisons, even well-meaning advice. When your mind is constantly bombarded, your energy is diluted, your attention fractured, and your progress slowed. Quiet seasons act as a filter. They allow you to concentrate on the work that matters, on the goals that align with your calling, on the actions that will produce lasting results. In these moments of stillness, you learn the discipline of sustained focus, the patience to work without immediate recognition, and the strength to ignore the chatter of those who do not understand your journey. Focus is the foundation of success, and quiet seasons are the crucible in which it is forged. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they protect your energy. Every distraction consumes more than just your time. It consumes your mental, emotional, and spiritual resources. When you are constantly pulled in different directions, your creativity diminishes, your resolve weakens, your progress is slowed. Quiet seasons allow you to reclaim your energy, channel it toward meaningful action. Cultivate the inner resources necessary for your breakthrough. In these moments, you can make deliberate choices about where to invest your time, attention, and strength. You learn to say no without guilt, to turn away from what does not serve your purpose, and to prioritize what will ultimately bear fruit. The separation that quiet seasons provide is not passive, it is strategic, protective, and intentional. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they create space for growth. True transformation does not happen under constant noise. It happens in reflection, in repetition, in rehearsal, in preparation. When you allow yourself quiet, you give your mind, body, and spirit the opportunity to learn, adjust, and evolve. You can study your craft, refine your skills, develop the habits that will carry you to the next level. Quiet seasons provide the mental room to process experiences, to draw lessons from challenges, and to prepare for opportunities before they arrive. Distractions rob you of this growth because they scatter your attention, pull you off course, prevent you from engaging fully with the work that truly matters. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they reveal your true allies and your true intentions. When you step away from the noise, you see who is invested in your journey and who is merely a spectator. You recognize the relationships, habits, influences that strengthen you and those that weaken you. You begin to understand your own desires and intentions more clearly without being swayed by the expectations or judgments of others. In these seasons, you are not performing, pleasing, or seeking approval. You are simply being, observing, and preparing. And in this clarity, you gain the wisdom to move forward with confidence, purpose, and discernment. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they cultivate resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, and not every battle is public. Many of the struggles you face will happen in private, away from the eyes of the world. In quiet seasons, you learn to endure hardship without seeking sympathy. You develop the patience to persevere when progress is slow. You cultivate the mental toughness to keep moving forward even when no one is watching. Distractions often come in the form of frustration, discouragement, and impatience. Quiet seasons teach you to rise above these distractions, to trust the process, and to remain steadfast in the pursuit of your goals. Quiet seasons separate you from distraction because they reinforce discipline. Discipline is the consistent commitment to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel, who is watching, or what recognition you receive. Distractions erode discipline because they tempt you to chase what is urgent rather than what is important, to respond to external pressures rather than internal priorities. Quiet seasons provide the environment to strengthen self-control, consistency, and deliberate action. They teach you to resist impulsivity, ignore unnecessary influence, and stay committed to the process. Discipline developed in silence becomes a habit that carries you through the noise of life, ensuring that your vision remains protected. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they heighten your awareness. When you remove yourself from constant noise, you become more attuned to opportunities, to the subtle signs that guide your next steps, and to the instincts that steer you toward your purpose. You notice patterns, identify solutions, and sense possibilities that would have been missed in the chaos. Distractions dull perception. Quiet seasons sharpen it. In the stillness, you gain insight that cannot be accessed in the clutter of noise, allowing you to make wiser decisions, take purposeful action, move strategically toward your vision. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they prepare you for the spotlight. Most people crave recognition before they are ready, but those who thrive understand that preparation in silence is more powerful than premature exposure. Quiet work builds mastery, confidence, and credibility. When the time comes for your breakthrough, it will be undeniable because it is fully formed. Distractions may seek to pull you off course, but quiet seasons ensure that your foundation is strong, your skills are sharp, and your purpose is clear. The work done away from the public eye produces results that cannot be ignored and achievements that cannot be undermined. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions because they cultivate patience, focus, resilience, discipline, and clarity. They are not periods of waiting, they are periods of preparation. They allow you to grow unseen, to strengthen in solitude, and to develop the capacity to handle the responsibilities, opportunities, and recognition that will come. In a quiet season, you learn that what is hidden is not wasted. You discover that the world may not understand your timing, but your destiny does. You learn that silence is not empty. It is rich, fertile, full of potential. And you understand that the distractions you avoid today will allow you to shine more brightly tomorrow. Quiet seasons separate you from distractions. They protect your focus, strengthen your discipline, preserve your energy, and cultivate your resilience. They allow you to grow in preparation for the moment when your success will demand attention. Embrace these quiet seasons, honor them, and trust that the work you do in silence will produce results so powerful when the world finally sees, it will have no choice but to listen. Quiet was never wasted. The solitude was never empty. The separation was intentional, and your breakthrough, when it comes, will make all the noise necessary. Your actions will always speak louder than your promises. Words are powerful, but they are fleeting. Promises can be made with excitement, enthusiasm, even good intentions, but until they are backed by action, they remain empty. Every day, people make declarations, commit to change, speak of dreams and goals they intend to achieve. Yet, without consistent action, these words fade into nothing more than noise. Life does not measure the strength of your promises, it measures the results of your effort. Success, growth, and transformation are not built on what you say you will do. They are built on what you actually do when no one is watching, when there are obstacles, when it would be easier to quit. Your actions are the language of your integrity, the proof of your discipline, and the evidence of your purpose. Promise you make carries with it responsibility, but responsibility only becomes meaningful when it is acted upon. Too often, people rely on words to gain trust, to inspire confidence, or to impress others. They speak of their intentions, their plans, and their ambitions. The follow-through is absent. Words without action are like seeds planted in barren soil. They may sound promising, they may excite for a moment, but they will not grow. Your life, your reputation, and your destiny are cultivated by the work you do consistently, the steps you take deliberately, the choices you make faithfully. Promises may set an intention, but it is action that fulfills it. Your actions speak louder than promises because they reveal character. Anyone can make a commitment. Anyone can speak a vision or declare a dream. It is through your actions that others learn who you truly are. Actions cannot be faked. Actions cannot be borrowed. Actions cannot be performed for show over an extended period of time. When you consistently align your actions with your words, trust is built, respect is earned, credibility is established. Conversely, when your promises are unfulfilled, your words lose value and your influence diminishes. World pays attention to what you do, not what you say, and it will remember your actions long after your words have faded. Your actions speak louder than promises because results cannot be argued with. Words can be doubted, questioned, or dismissed, but the outcomes of your labor are undeniable. When you act with discipline, when you pursue your goals with consistency, when you deliver on your commitments, your results become the loudest testimony of your dedication and capability. Others may criticize, doubt, or misunderstand your methods, but they cannot dispute the evidence of your accomplishments. Your actions are proof that you are willing to do what it takes. You are serious about your purpose and that you are committed to following through on your word. Your actions speak louder than promises because they shape perception. People do not remember what you said you would do. They remember what you actually did. Reputation, influence, and legacy are built on behavior, not statements. When you consistently take action, your credibility grows and people begin to trust you. When you fail to act, your credibility diminishes and people begin to question your reliability. The alignment of your words and actions is what sets you apart from those who only talk, and it is what distinguishes leaders, achievers, and visionaries from the crowd. Actions reveal intent in a way that words alone never can because they are tangible, observable, and undeniable. Your actions speak louder than promises because they inspire confidence. When you follow through on commitments, when you deliver results, when you act with integrity, others are motivated to believe in you, support you, and follow your lead. Words without action breed doubt, suspicion, hesitation. People naturally gravitate toward those whose behavior consistently matches their words, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth. The consistency of action builds trust, reinforces reliability, and demonstrates strength of character. Actions are the currency of influence. They are far more valuable than empty promises ever could be. Your actions speak louder than promises because they teach accountability. Every time you take action, you accept responsibility for the outcome. You acknowledge that your success or failure is determined not by what you say, but by what you do. Accountability cannot be faked, and it cannot be borrowed. It is cultivated through consistent behavior, measured by follow-through, demonstrated through results. Promises alone do not hold you accountable. They only set expectations. Actions make those expectations real, tangible, and measurable. When you act with integrity, you develop discipline, resilience, and credibility, which will carry you further than words ever could. Your actions speak louder than promises because they create momentum. Words are static. They are statements that exist only in the moment. Action is dynamic, generates movement, energy, and progress. Every step you take toward your goals compounds over time, building momentum that propels you forward even in the face of challenges. Promises may inspire temporary excitement, but action sustains progress. Discipline, consistency, and deliberate effort amplify over time, producing results that transform your life. Momentum is created not by what you say you will do, by what you actually do consistently. Your actions speak louder than promises because they leave a lasting impact. People may forget what you said. They will remember what you did. The lives you touch, the goals you achieve, and the obstacles you overcome become the evidence of your character and the legacy of your efforts. Words may fade, intentions may be forgotten, action endures. What you do shapes your reputation, influences your environment, and creates ripples that extend far beyond your immediate sphere. Your actions are the building blocks of legacy, and they define how you will be remembered long after your promises have been spoken. Your actions speak louder than promises because they reveal commitment. Anyone can talk about dreams, but only those who act consistently demonstrate dedication. Action requires courage, discipline, and focus. It requires showing up, doing the work, and persevering when motivation wanes. Promises do not demand sacrifice, consistency, or accountability, but actions do. Those who act despite fear, fatigue, or opposition are the ones who ultimately succeed. Your commitment is proven through your deeds, not your declarations, and it is this consistency that transforms vision into reality. Your actions speak louder than promises because they define success. Success is not measured by words or intentions. It is measured by results, by growth, by the impact of what you do. Promises may indicate direction, but action produces destination. Life rewards those who are willing to work quietly, consistently, and with integrity. The world respects results over rhetoric, achievements over assertions, and proof over promises. Your actions are the evidence that you are serious about your goals, committed to your purpose, and willing to do what it takes to succeed. So remember this: your actions will always speak louder than your promises. Speak less, do more. Let your effort, discipline, and consistency communicate what words cannot. Align your behavior with your intentions, follow through on your commitments, and allow your life to be the proof of your character. The world may not notice your promises, but it will never miss the impact of your actions. Speak less, act more, and let your deeds define you. Your actions are louder than words, and they will carry you farther than promises ever could. When you stay focused, consistent, and silent, you tap into a power that the world often cannot understand. In a society obsessed with visibility, recognition, and immediate validation, moving quietly and steadily toward your goals is a revolutionary act. Focus allows you to see clearly where you are going. Consistency ensures that every step you take counts, and silence protects your energy, preserves your vision, and shields you from the noise of distraction. Together, these three qualities create a foundation for success that is unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. They form the armor that allows you to pursue your purpose without being sidetracked by the opinions, criticisms, or chaos of the world around you. Focus is the first pillar. It is the lens through which you see your path, your mission, and your destiny. When your attention is scattered, your energy is diluted, and your progress is slowed. Focus requires clarity of purpose and an unwavering commitment to your vision. It demands that you say no to what does not serve your goals, that you ignore what is irrelevant, that you devote your time and resources to what will move you forward. When you focus, distractions lose their power. Opinions, comparisons, doubts that once threatened to derail you become background noise. You are no longer living according to the expectations of others. You are living in alignment with your calling. Focus sharpens your mind, strengthens your resolve, and allows you to act with intention, precision, and confidence. Consistency is the second pillar. It is the quiet engine that drives success. Many people are motivated in the beginning but falter when the initial excitement fades. Motivation is temporary, consistency is enduring. Showing up every day, doing the work when no one is watching, and maintaining your effort even when progress seems slow, that is what builds results. Consistency is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It does not demand recognition, applause, or validation. It simply requires discipline, perseverance, and patience. When you remain consistent, you compound your efforts over time. Small actions, repeated daily, produce massive outcomes. Consistency bridges the gap between intention and achievement. It is the rhythm of progress that turns dreams into reality and transforms potential into performance. Silence is the third pillar. It is often misunderstood as passivity or inactivity, but silence is strategic, protective, and powerful. When you remain silent, you avoid unnecessary conflict, judgment, and distraction. You keep your plans close, your strategy protected, and your energy intact. Silence allows you to focus fully on your work without interruption. It shields your vision from those who do not understand it and protects your progress from being diluted by the noise of external opinions. Silence is not isolation, it is concentration. It is the quiet cultivation of strength, skill, and clarity so that when the time comes, your results will speak louder than any words ever could. When focus, consistency, and silence work together, they create a synergy that is unmatched. Focus gives direction, consistency provides momentum, and silence safeguards your journey. They allow you to act without distraction, grow without interference, and achieve without unnecessary explanation. The world may not see your progress immediately. People may question your path, doubt your potential, wonder why you are not shouting your achievements from the rooftops. But those who move with focus, consistency, silence understand that the loudest victories are often the ones that emerge quietly, fully formed, and unstoppable. Staying focused, consistent, and silent requires discipline. It demands that you resist the temptation to seek validation, recognition, or approval before your work is ready. Requires patience to trust the process, even when the results are not yet visible. It demands courage to ignore the doubters, the critics, and the distractions that threaten to pull you off course. Discipline is the backbone of this approach. It allows you to maintain your energy for the work that matters, to resist the allure of shortcuts, to persevere even when the journey is long and challenging. Those who cultivate discipline in alignment with focus, consistency, silence are the ones who achieve results that cannot be ignored. Focus, consistency, and silence also protect your vision. Every great idea, every ambitious goal, and every meaningful dream is vulnerable to interference. People may question it, competitors may challenge it, circumstances may test it. By remaining focused, you keep your eyes on your objectives. By remaining consistent, you keep moving forward despite obstacles. By remaining silent, you shield your vision from external pressures and distractions. Together, these practices create a protective environment where your goals can grow, develop, and ultimately flourish. Success is not accidental. It is cultivated, nurtured, and defended. Moreover, staying focused, consistent, and silent builds character. It teaches patience, humility, and resilience. Reminds you that true success is not about appearances or applause, but about the depth of effort, the integrity of action, and the fidelity to purpose. It develops mental toughness, emotional maturity, and spiritual strength. Those who practice these principles learn to act without needing recognition, to persevere without immediate reward, and to trust that the work done quietly and steadily will produce lasting impact. Character is forged in the quiet, disciplined pursuit of purpose, and it is revealed through consistent action, focused effort, and strategic silence. This approach also teaches strategic patience. The world is impatient. It wants instant results, immediate validation, and constant updates. But those who succeed understand that timing is critical. Focus, consistency, and silence allow you to prepare thoroughly, strengthen quietly, and grow steadily so that when your moment arrives, it is undeniable. The results emerge fully formed, powerful, and then compelling because they were nurtured in preparation, protected in silence, and reinforced through consistent effort. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active, disciplined preparation for the right moment. When you stay focused, consistent, and silent, you command attention without having to demand it. You produce results that cannot be ignored, influence that cannot be denied, and credibility that cannot be questioned. Your work becomes your testimony, your progress becomes your proclamation, and your success becomes your voice. There is power in letting actions speak louder than words, in allowing results to reveal the effort behind them, in demonstrating excellence without seeking validation. The quiet journey produces the loudest victories. Finally, staying focused, consistent, silent transforms the way you approach life. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop seeking approval for every step. You stop being distracted by the noise of the world. Instead, you invest your energy into your growth, your vision, and your purpose. You learn to trust yourself, trust the process, and trust the timing of your journey. You cultivate a life that is intentional, meaningful, and impactful. You become someone whose presence is felt through achievements, whose influence is recognized through results, and whose legacy is built through deliberate, disciplined action. When you stay focused, consistent, and silent, you unlock a power that is invisible to those who chase noise and distraction. Focus directs your path, consistency propels your progress, and silence protects your vision. Together, they form an unshakable foundation for success, quiet force that prepares you for the moment when your results will make all the noise. Move deliberately, act consistently, guard your journey with silence. Your actions, your growth, and your success will speak for themselves, and when the world finally hears, will recognize the power of focus, consistency, and strategic silence.